net profits beats estimate. I also sent out another note on OCBC all the way to 42, 43 to 44. With Donald Trump winning the US elections and this uncertainty overhang being removed, right? We have seen strength in the US markets and of course in the Singapore markets. The bank seems to be leading the way in right now, all right, with the earnings results of DBS being announced. So we're seeing strength in the banks. Where are we right now for the three local banks, DBS, OCBC, and UOB? Could there be more upside ahead as we head into the end of 2024? Hey guys, Joey here, top tier MyZeal trader in Phillip Securities, and in today's video, I'll dive into what has happened for DBS, what are some of the key levels you want to take note of, and could targets actually be raised even higher, right? So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end if you want to know what is happening to DBS, OCBC, and UOB. Let's go. So this is DBS at about 41.63. All right, before I talk about where we are and what are the key levels we have broken, let me just take a look at the news that have came out for DBS. So you can see right over here, it was just announced this morning on Thursday morning that DBS net profit for the third quarter of the year was up 15% year over year, right, to about 3.03 billion. So this is like the first time that DBS net profit surpassed the Singapore dollars $3 billion mark. Total income was up 11% year over year to about $5.75 billion thanks to a 99% rise in markets trading income and an 8% rise in the commercial book as well. So pretty strong set of results they were seeing from DBS, surpassing expectations, surprising to the upside, and that's why we're seeing strength in DBS. So in this Dow Jones Newswire article, you can see DBS third quarter net profits beats estimate, and they are also planning what we call a share buyback. So a consensus estimate of analysts polled had expected DBS net profit to come in at about 2.8 billion, but it came in above $3 billion. So that's a surprise to the upside. That's a positive thing for DBS. And also the board has declared a quarterly dividend of 54 cents, right, 0.54 per share, all right, for the third quarter, and this brings the dividend for the 9 months to $1.62 per share, right? So that's a good thing. Whenever you declare dividend, you're like kind of like giving out cash back to your shareholders. And DBS has also announced that it was establishing a $3 billion share buyback program, right, whereby the shares will be purchased in the open markets and cancelled. So basically, they're buying back shares in the open market. That is a positive thing for the company that's doing a share buyback. It shows that they are confident about a company's future prospect and they are using their cash to buy back the shares. And you can see that the buyback program is underpinned by strong capital position and also ongoing capital generation. That is another affirmation of our commitment to capital management. That's what DBS Chief Executive Piyush Gupta has said. So DBS has reported their earnings for the third quarter, and OCBC and UOB, which I'll talk about in a bit, right? They will be reporting their earnings result, I think, on Friday as well, over the next 1 or 2 days, which will be probably tomorrow on Friday, all right? So I think people are expecting pretty strong results as well for the banks. So here's DBS right now, and I mentioned in my previous videos on the Singapore banks as well that, we have been in a pretty strong uptrend in the longer term for the banks, even for DBS, OCBC, and UOB as well, since I would say the beginning of the year, whereby we saw the prices breaking some of those very key levels. Like you can see right over here, we were actually trading below like the $30. So $30 was a very key, what we call psychological resistance level, whereby we're trading below for past 1, 2 years, right, 3 years. And right over here, somewhere around like March, February, in fact in March, right over here, we broke above the $30 psychological resistance level. That's for DBS, right? So that is where it sparked a whole new momentum in the stock, all right? We break above a very key psychological resistance level that we've been trading below for 2 years, all right? And you can see that there are signs of the uptrend forming in the longer term, right? Before that, you can see that the 100 days moving average, this red line, and the blue line, the 200 days moving average, they were pretty much just moving up and down, sideways, crossing one another. So a little bit more sideways, I would say, in the longer term trend, all right? But as I mentioned, we broke that $30 in March. You can see both of these red and blue line started to point up, right? So right now you can see the red and the blue line, obviously, they are still like pointing up. The red is still above the blue right over here. So it has been a pretty strong, I would say, longer term uptrend since like early of the year, somewhere in February and March, right? And of course, in the short term, we did see a bit of weakness as well. Somewhere in like, July, August, we saw a bit of a sell down here, a bit of a sell down. So yeah, longer term uptrend intact. In the short term, we did see a bit of a weakness, but then, buyers came back and pushed it up even higher. So let's take a look at what has happened over the past 1 month. So you can see, right, somewhere somewhere around like September, we saw the 20 days moving average, this short-term trend, all right, which represents the short-term trend, the 20 days moving average, green line, started to point down, flatten, and started to point up. So that's where we started to see the short-term trend turning back up, right? We went higher and higher, and we found another higher support, maybe somewhere over here, or maybe around that $37.80 to $38 right over here, all right? And we started to see a bit of a consolidation while the short-term trend was slightly pointing up, right? But then we saw some resistance. Let me just draw this very key level, right? That would be the $40 psychological resistance level, right? So at this point in time, right, over the past one month, we were actually trading below $40. The longer term trend was up, the short term trend was also slightly up, right? But we still kept below that, $40 resistance. It seems like sellers are just out to push prices down, all right? Came down a little bit, some bearish candles as well came down, but you can see that today, all right, with the earnings results being announced, right, surprising to the upside, we have finally, all right, broken the $40. You can see right over here, we have broken the $40 psychological resistance level. So this can open up a whole new wave of upside. Is pretty much out of this consolidation below $40. We are at a higher phase right now, and this $40 would turn into what we call a new support level. So let me just turn this to green in color. So I think upside targets can be revised, all right, in terms of it pushing higher. We may see upside all the way to like 42. It seems like 42, all right. I mean, it's quite a good push today, all right, more than let's see how many percent, right? So from yesterday close all the way to here, more than 5-6% upside. So I think that's where some profit taking might come back again, maybe near 42 over the next few days. So 42 could be like a resistance level, temporary. Next one maybe all the way to like 45 to 44. I think that could be the next resistance level as well, somewhere over here. So yeah, I think looks pretty good, right? Just that it has gone up a bit fast, so there might be some profit taking along the way. But let me just go to revise the upside targets from 40 all the way to 42, 43 to 44, all right, 45 even as well. I think that could be where we may see some profit taking again. But overall, I think it looks pretty bullish, all right, because there are signs now of the short-term trend, all right, starting to slope up even more, all right, even more. And if we stay above $40, I think that's where more upside momentum can come back. All right, and yeah, we look pretty bullish. That's where we can push even higher. So if you want to get some of those ideas by WhatsApp Daily Live much faster, make sure you check out how you can become a VIP client of mine in Phillip Securities. The link is right below the video. Click on it to find out why thousands of people have joined us. And you can see that for DBS, right over here today, all right, you can see we sent out a note this morning when it kind of like broke the $40 psychological resistance. Of course, it has gone up even more when I did this video. And right over here, that was the chart. You can see it was like about $40.50. It went up to like almost $41 over dollars already, right? So this is where we send out ideas live. In fact, I also sent out another note on OCBC, which I'll be covering in a bit. Right over here, we sent out about 10:39 a.m. It was on OCBC when they attempted to break what we call the $15.70. You can see that was like about $15.81 then. All right, check out how you can become a VIP client of mine in Phillip Securities. The link is right below the video. Click on it to find out why thousands of people have joined us. Okay, OCBC, right, due to report its earnings as well over the next few days. So I think people are expecting a pretty strong set of results as well, something like DBS. So let's take a look at the chart right now. It seems like we are seeing a little bit of strength as well from DBS results. We are seeing it, OCBC kind of attempting to break one of the key resistance levels, about $15.90 right now. So let me just go to draw some of the very key price levels that you want to take note of. You can see right over here, we would have a resistance level about $15.70. So that was where we touched somewhere in September. We sold all the way down, and maybe we found a support as well somewhere over here. Look at this, right? A bit of a resistance level, about $14.90 came down, but finally we broke above it, went up, came back down, and retested the same resistance turn support level. And after that, you can see that over the past 1 over 2 months, right, you can see the 20 days moving average, this green line, which was sloping up, started to flatten out, right? This means it's a bit of a short-term sideways consolidation in this range, right? Up, down, all right? But what happened today, right? You can see that today, on strength that we're seeing from DBS, it's like kind of like spread into OCBC. It seems like we are attempting to break this resistance level at $15.70. I mean, now it's like $15.90, right? So it's above that $15.70. So not too bad, not too bad. Of course, we talk about the trend as well for like, DBS. Same thing for OCBC. It has been in a longer term uptrend, I would say, even way before, before DBS, even like last year in 2023, you could see that the 100 days moving average line, all right, in like beginning of 2023 or end of 2022, you can see the red and blue line slightly sloping upwards. Very gentle uptrend in the longer term for OCBC, whereas for DBS, it was a little bit sideways last year, but for OCBC, very gradual kind of uptrend in the longer term. All right, but that kind of accelerated as well in March this year when we broke certain level like the $13 or the $12.50. You can see right over here, we broke it. Let me just draw it for you. You can see right over here, we broke some of the very key resistance. We've been trading below, came down. Finally, we broke it. Same thing I see somewhere in March, like DBS, we broke it, and more upside momentum came in fast, all the way to where we are right now, right? So I think right now, let me go to see if we can revise our targets higher. So my take is that $15.70. Of course, it's only like one day. The market has not closed yet, but if we can stay above that $15.70, or maybe above $15.50, right? Let me just shift this down a little bit. Just give a little bit of allowance, maybe right over here. So $15.50. All right, if you can stay above $15.50 to maybe even $15.70, I think upside targets can be revised all the way to maybe even that $17 to $16.50. I think that is where potentially we may head to before some profit taking comes back again. So this is what I've drawn from here all the way up to maybe $16.50 to maybe $17. I think that's where some selling can come back and take some profit near there again. All right, and when that happens, you can see that maybe the 20 days moving average, this green line, will continue to slope up, and then it might just flatten out somewhere around there near the resistance, and that's where it means that we are back to some sideways consolidation again, like what we have seen over the past 1 to 2 months, right? So you can use kind of like the 20 days moving average as a gauge, whereby, is the short-term trend up, or is it like sideways, or is it up, maybe turning to sideways, we're seeing a bit of resistance. You could use this 20 days moving average line as a guide. Okay, let's take a look at UOB, which is also going to release its earnings results over the next few days. Right, you can see right now trading at about $33.78. So it looks quite similar to like OCBC. All right, in fact, you can see we're actually attempting same thing to break above the recent high we've seen somewhere in September. So we touched somewhere around that $33.40, right? In September, came all the way down. You can see the short-term trend started to flatten out. The 20 days green line was like moving sideways. So it just means a bit of sideways consolidation, like OCBC. Of course, longer-term uptrend has been intact since, I would say, the beginning of the year, just by looking at the 100 days and the 200 days moving average. So short-term sideways, longer-term trend up, and finally today you can see that we are attempting to break the $33.40. So that could be a good thing. It means that we may actually, get out of this sideways consolidation to another phase higher if we can stay above this level, this $33.40, or maybe $33.50, right? So now it's $33.72. The market is still open, it's live, right? It's above that resistance level. So I think it looks pretty good. Let me just go ahead to turn this to like green in color. That would be like a new support level. You can see that the 20 days moving average line, which was like up, started to flatten out, a bit of sideways consolidation. And over the past 1-2 weeks, you see, starting to point up a little bit. Let me just zoom it for you. You can see, right, this green line right over here has started to just point up, especially on today's move. That would be a good thing. It just means that the short-term trend has started to turn a little bit from sideways to up, right, to up. And I think it looks pretty bullish, as I mentioned, right? If you can stay above that $33.40, targets could be revised, maybe all the way towards the $35 to maybe $36 level. I think that is potentially where we may see some profit taking, maybe a bit of a consolidation. You might just retrace back down a little bit, but as long as these higher supports are holding, that is a good thing. So normally in an uptrend, what we want to find is that we want to see supports that are being found that is getting higher and higher. So you can see right over here, we had the support around here that was in August. Support became higher in September as well. You can see became a little bit higher. Now if the support would be at like $33.40, it would be like higher as well right over here. It means that the longer term uptrend is intact. The short term trend as well is pointing up, and it could be another phase up as well, all right? And that's where targets can be revised. So there we have it, guys. I've gone through the 3 Singapore banks, right? DBS, OCBC, and UOB, whereby we are seeing some really good bullish price actions today, all right? And there could be more upside in the next few days, maybe next 1 or 2 weeks as well. You definitely want to put them in your watch list. But take note of where some selling can actually come back again, like what I've mentioned in terms of the resistance level. And by the way, guys, if you want to get some of those ideas, not just on the banks, right? I mean, DBS, even like OCBC, we did send out a note to our VIP clients in Phillip Securities, but not just the banks, but other stocks as well. If you want to get some of those top ideas by WhatsApp, live, daily, right, on a daily basis, right, make sure you check out the links right below. Find out how you can become a VIP client of mine in Phillip Securities, and that's some of the services that we provide to our clients, all right, at no additional cost. Yeah, you don't pay anything more. It's pretty much the same as whatever you're paying when you're trading, all right, but we do give more value-added services to our clients. That's why thousands of people join us, and do check it out. The link is right below, especially if you are trading and you don't get much support or service or know who your broker even is, right? The link is right below. So Joey here, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to add more value to you in the next video. I'll see you soon.